I don't know why, but you are watching the Madness Comic Network. Are you mental?
She raises a good point most of the time. Most of the time. But tonight, we got serious issues. Don't we, guys?
Yep.
We got serious issues. I'm Pops Van Zant. Jeff Earls joining me from the Baron Earl Show and multiple indie comics. RJ Carter, publisher, blaster from the Critical Blast. You know what's up, guys. We're here to talk about a few different topics which are brought up in the description down below. You can see what we're going to talk about. We're going to try to stay on topic.
Impossible.
Well, we don't usually do serious shows. Usually I'm out here looking for something to bust on and crack up about, have fun. So this is going to be a little different for me. I'm just saying. Backstage, I got my dude Levi pushing the buttons, doing all the stuff backstage for us. This is where we're at, people. Some news today. Yes.
Yep. all the news is fit to print.
Yeah. And some
we've run out of college.
Some that isn't.
Yeah, well, some of it is only printed in some places.
Yeah.
It's like we'll go into some of that.
Yep.
Some outlets grab something and drag it as far through the mud as they can. Other outlets completely ignore it because they might be just as you have some of the dirt rubbing off on them, and it's just crazy out here, man. Welcome to the entertainment industry. It's
yeah.
Some of the news made me change my very artistic Facebook profile picture today. I loved that picture.
Oh.
It was great, but just not today. Not today, Satan.
Oh
yeah. Not today, Cthulhu.
See, my problem with that story was everybody that was sending me a link to read it.
Yeah.
All the sources were like thenewfeminist.com and I'm just like, these ain't places I'm going to for my news anyway. So what's really going on, right?
Which is kind of interesting because he claims to be a feminist. So
which explains the entire matter, actually. But
exactly.
Some weird stuff. And yes, we are touching on Neil Gaiman.
Did you have to put it that way?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
I did have to put it that way because, that's kind of what the story's about.
Yeah.
Neil Gaiman touching on other people.
Yeah.
And you don't know if they was touching on him or not.
Well,
powerful,
powerful man who can pay them a lot because some of them worked for him. So it is one of the things that I brought up to Pops is that it's interesting the way that the mainstream comic news is not covering it. It's there are more right-leaning there are some more like right-leaning ones that are covering it, and interestingly, like the New Feminist, there are a lot of left-wing and mainstream news media covering it, but the main comic news is just they're dead silent on it, which has been feeding rumors and things, and because Neil Gaiman makes so much money for DC and other people that he has published stuff for and that they have books for, that there's been kind of like a hush, don't talk about it.
Nobody wants to turn off the faucet. Nobody wants to turn off the faucet. That's a money pit over there.
Yeah. And they've specifically said he's too big to fail. And that I don't know whether that's true or not, but it's really for me, it looks really bad. It looks as bad as the mainstream news not covering Biden, not addressing any of the stuff with him. They were just like, he's their
all
guy.
disinformation, and he
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we're like 3 days away from Heidi McDonald coming out and saying, "Well, everybody knew that Gaiman was a pervert in his personal life. It was an open secret."
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's the sad thing is that the wife coming out and corroborating some of the stories, and it's like, lady, if you knew, what were you doing?
Well, I mean, I don't know the whole story because I haven't read every single thing that's been out there. Some of the big ones, like the New Yorker, and I can't remember the other one. There's another one that another fairly left-leaning mainstream news media that
New
covered
York
it.
Magazine's the one I kept seeing. The
New York Magazine. Yeah, and once you've like he was before any of this happened, he was kind of a darling of theirs. They loved his shows. They loved the different things about him and his books and everything.
I love the things
he's good. He's talented.
And I've got to go black hat here for a second.
Yep.
I've got to go black hat now. We're talking about Neil Gaiman. I got to take the other side on this.
Yeah.
If you are in the bathtub and a grown naked man gets in with you and you do not get out, you have consented to your part in this contract.
Well, I mean, what Jeff
said
earlier, if
they're employees,
this is where it goes to me from, wait a minute, if you're being paid by a dude and you're looking for extra credit, that's you.
And how much bigger is? I mean, I haven't seen the women. I don't know how much bigger he is than them. But but it's always easy for the guys to say that the girls should go away or whatever. But I do think there is some stuff to that with the masculine kind of authority, kind of. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's one of the testimonies was that the girl said no to like a lesser thing, and then he ended up raping her. Like he was wanting something else, like just something light, and then he ended up raping her, which is what I from what the little bit I read that turned that girl or that employee against him was when she actually did say it.
This is my next question. How long was she still employed with him afterwards?
Right. Yeah, I don't.
And she's still there like for the next 5 years, and she's just waiting to kill him when she had to. I don't get it. Okay.
Well,
assault on me, I'm calling the police that day.
Think about all the think about all the abusive relationships that a lot of people will stick with. Even this
is your employer. This is your employer.
Right.
You can walk away from a job. You can't tell me you were in indentured servitude or whatever. You can walk away from a job. Okay.
Well,
if you stayed there after something like that happened and you didn't do anything about it, you consented.
Yeah.
If you didn't report it, you consented.
Yeah.
It's sad, but that really is the way it. Come on, man.
That's where
can't come back 5 years later and go, oh, dude did this to me, because now you're not for it. But you know, who knows what happened, what really happened back then 5 years ago.
Right.
It's like, come on, man. If you're not like on the phone that day, that night, yeah.
You wouldn't want to get out fully naked to get a towel, but the thing is, he's already in the bathroom with you. He sees you.
Right.
And he's getting in the tub with you. At that point, it's your only escape route. Modesty's out.
Yeah, that's when I'm shooting him in the face with the shampoo and I'm getting out the tub, man. It's like his eyes are going to be burning.
Did he have to unlock the bathroom door to get in?
Right.
That's another thing. That's another thing.
Whenever,
look, I used to have girls come to my house sometimes and they'd be like, hey, can I go take a shower? And I'd be, make sure you lock the door. And they'd be like, why do you say that? Because if you don't lock the door, you're inviting me in. Lock the door. It's like, that don't even mean I'm going to go check the door. I would just tell them, I'm not the only dude in the house either. Lock the fucking door.
I think Pop
You know.
needs the black hat now.
I mean, you know, now still, dude could have done all this nasty shit, and there'd been no consent. We don't know. That's the whole point of the ancient news shit. Ancient news doesn't. There's no verification or proof that comes along with it right now.
Right.
This
And
is
you know,
overnight
proof,
you can miss memory. You can perceive something.
Yeah.
The next day, this has been proven in court many times.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like 5 years.
well,
Do you even remember what dude said?
there's a case right now that's coming up in February, and this I found it by accident because I was watching the show again. One of my favorite shows. I used to love to watch Leverage, and then
I like
we
that
did
show.
Leverage Redemption, which is going right now with Noah Wiley.
Right.
Well, everybody came back except Timothy Hutton. It's like, well, why did they kill off his character in between the shows? They killed his character off because he's accused of a rape from 1980s that he's never been charged of in court, and he's suing them for breach of contract because they had him on, and then they were like, oh no, this rape allegation here is you're out of the show, so they canceled
how easy it is to ruin somebody's career now.
Yeah.
You see how easy it is, and that's another thing, and that's why all these things raise red flags with me. It's like, what you mean 15 years ago? Your credibility is already sucking because you didn't say it 15 years ago. You know?
Yeah.
Like I say, he might have done this shit. We don't know. We weren't there 15 fucking years ago. That's the problem, you know.
Hopefully Joe will be on soon. He just responded to me.
The irony here is that, Gaiman's in a position where in 2018, he was one of the prominent voices of bereaved survivors.
Right.
Like, if they say it happened, you have to listen and believe. And now,
now that's backfiring on his ass. Isn't
it? What are we supposed to do now, Neil? I mean, you want your due process now? Betcha, yeah.
Well, see, I mean, I've always been that. Everybody knows that. It's like, until you've proven to me that somebody's a shit tart, I'm not piling on. I'm not going to dog pile on, right? Now, like you said, there's been a lot of people that have reported on this, but I just want to know: is the base article the same article everybody's fucking talking about?
No. I know one of the I know that the New Yorker did a separate piece because they had one of their main reporters interview the women, and that it was and they did that right after the original. Basically, for those who don't know, four more women have come forward and accused Neil Gaiman of stuff. So it's
I just feel like, what? Where were you? Why not?
Yeah.
If you go wait and pile it all together into one big piece of shit, I just feel like somewhere in there there's.
Yeah. Now there's also this, why didn't you say something 15 years ago? Men and women are different.
Yeah.
And back when a lot of this was happening, women were scared.
Okay, they can still like
somebody famous. What chance do I have of getting people to believe me?
Right.
The person who gets the hamburgers when he's hungry for lunch.
But see, this is how. RJ, this is how though, RJ. You quit working for the dude first, and then you tell people why you quit working for the dude.
I'd like to know how much she was making though. Because I bet it was more.
That just makes her that just makes him a high priced hooker if you're worried about how much they were making.
Yeah, but I mean that's I mean if she's
I hate to put it that way, but if it was based on what they're getting paid, then they were throwing it out there for what they were getting paid. You see what I'm saying? I guess a different aspect to it. So I tried to keep that part out of it. That's why I said extra credit. Did she stay in the tub for extra credit? Because them Christmas bonuses can be really nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Christmas boners?
Yeah, my goodness.
I did not, but thank you.
He needs that black hat, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, through the
I just have to see it from all sides. I won't dogpile on dude without some physical proof, right?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, we got a lot of people saying that. We had a lot of people saying that about some other dude a lot the last few years too, right?
Yeah.
Look, I don't care who you are. Nobody was messing with that chick that got that 80 million off Trump. Nobody wanted to touch that. Nobody.
Well, hasn't, and she accused like 20 or something or 30 more minutes, like stuff too. It's like
She was still.
if it's that much, I think I'd start looking at myself. I mean, but it's
and that's another thing. That's another thing right there. You don't say it, and I've said this about indie creators that won't out scammers. You don't say anything, you're setting up the next fucking victim.
Yeah.
Okay, so exactly, Sarah. Thank you for bringing it up. You don't say anything, you're setting the next victim up.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, sexual assault, scammers in the industry, it doesn't matter. If you don't say nothing,
yeah,
you know, the people standing on the sidelines cheer the cheer the loudest for the wrong things.
I would say for people who are wanting to find out some of the more recent stuff, I'd say read the New Yorker article, because that's one of the most recent things where they actually talk to the victims, the ladies who are accusing.
Oh.
Yeah, because I don't think any of us have actually read that whole thing or much of it. So
no, I mean, like I said, I was getting the same article from like 6 or 7 different websites, and I'm trying to figure out where did it originate.
Yeah.
Who dropped the story? Who was the first one to put that on the internet? So I can go read the original article, not an edited article, not a synopsis of somebody else's view of it or an opinion piece. I want the first article of it. Who dropped the story?
I think the first one was Vulture, actually.
Damn, that name just sounds like we're coming after your ass.
I know.
See what I'm saying?
I know. Yeah. But then right after that, New Yorker picked it up. But I mean, it's all over the mainstream news right now. It's in, I think, even like Time and like that. I mean, you name a big magazine and they're covering it. So, I mean, at least they're covering it online. I don't know if any of them are actually doing well. Some of them have. I know some of them have because I've seen those covers. But yeah.
I know it released in Comics News a couple of months back because it was. Well, gosh, I was bringing it up in a panel on Authors Gone Bad back in October. So
yeah, you know what? I do have a question for this for you guys. So what do you do if you have, it's like, say whoever it is, Mr. Black Hat, that you loved his writing or you loved his art, and you have a bunch of his stuff? What do you do then when it's actually been proven that he has, raped people or beaten people up or whatever?
Well, this comes back to one of the things I brought up on said panel, which was supposed to be, when I was on a panel all about they were great until they weren't, and I went in knowing that, this is the beat up on J.K. Rowling panel. So I went in and I said, yes, I was not the moderator. I was just one of the panelists.
Right.
And I addressed the audience. I know how it is when, you have somebody whose writing you love, you've collected it, they've inspired your own work, and then they go on Twitter and they say something stupid day after day after day. But really, Stephen King is getting old, so it's going to be that way for him. And just to set the stage that we're not focused on just one here. But
right.
There was a gentleman in the audience, and I swear a fist fight was about to break out, and I was on one end of it. Security sat him down because he flat out wanted and saw nothing wrong with scanning all the Harry Potter books into PDF and making them publicly available for free online. It could be because she's a fascist. So therefore it's okay.
Communist, yeah.
And guess what? If Neil Gaiman is convicted, you still can't do that with his books.
Hold up, though. Wouldn't they want to not promote her work if they're against her views?
That's giving away her work stories, but don't want to feel guilty for buying it.
Right.
If you love it, but you don't want to give her money.
See, that doesn't matter though. That's still people still reading it, and she's still happy about it. That's dumb.
That's what'll happen if he is convicted. There's nothing to be done about the works that you've already bought. If you like watching Sandman or reading Sandman, it's out, it's done. Read it.
Right.
Nothing to stop you now. I
now,
do wonder if DC would take it out of print.
When it comes to,
I think he'd have to be. Yeah, he'd have to be convicted for them to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't
and there
think
is a market. Hold up now, and there is a market for serial killer shit, and so there may be a market for this shit after the fact.
It's a small market though. It's not worth pursuing. I mean, look what they did with the guy who was doing Border Town. They canceled that series flat out. I don't think they're reproducing any of the Green Lanterns that Gerard Jones did.
Right.
When he went to jail.
Wow, so, Lantern. We could segue on that. Are you tired of
it's going to be the difference of a conviction versus an allegation.
Right.
Yeah. And look, allegations, somebody come out of the woodwork and says something, and you can ruin somebody's career and not know that it was bullshit for 2 years down the road. Yeah. And then you're all like,
realize how many rapists I was reading either until I just started going through that list.
Yeah. The difficult thing, I think, for some people, well, and I will say this too. I know one of the things that does hold people back that have been molested or abused or whatever, because I've known like 3 or 4 personally, and a couple of them I was able to talk into going and testifying or whatever, especially because that's when other people say, yeah, he did that to me too, and they have evidence or whatever, but they've been too scared to talk. But it's also traumatic, it's a real traumatic thing, and they don't want to relive that over and over in every detail in court, in front of 100 strangers. I mean, that's a real discouraging thing. Because I think honestly,
somebody else did, because there's a dog pile to jump on. You see what I'm saying? That's why that's the only reason I have a problem with it, is because they're dog piling with no proof.
I say safety in numbers.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say safety in numbers. It's not just me. Just me, a nobody, a clerk against the most powerful man in fiction.
The other thing I want to know is how many of them were employees and how many of them were acquaintances.
Right.
Okay, because like I said, the employees, if you kept working for dude after that, that's consent. That's saying, yep, his money paid for that.
Yeah, it's...
I mean, no matter how I can't slice it any other way. And I hate that, but I can't slice that any other way. If you kept taking his money and stayed in his employ after something like that happened, you were kind of telling him and everybody else you were okay with it.
Yeah. Well,
but again, we're all coming at this from male psychology.
Right.
That's why we got Sarah in the chat, though. See,
I know. We talk about, any one of us gets, God forbid, bent over and raped. Our minds go into revenge fantasy mode. We're not sitting there traumatized like I mean, we're traumatized. God damn, yes, we're traumatized.
Right.
But we're going to the proctologist. Going to the proctologist is traumatizing. Come on, guys. We all know it.
Very true.
But we're not women,
right?
And that's
why you have a woman for a proctologist.
Women process emotions differently than men do.
That's why you have a woman for a proctologist, RJ.
Yeah, well, that's why I Spit on Your Grave is a one-off. That's a female revenge fantasy. Normally,
you don't know how we all identify, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that I agree with that too. Right now, while it's up in the air, who knows? I ain't buying none of this shit, right? Okay, well, I'm not promoting none of this shit. I mean, we're going to talk about it on this show, and then we're not going to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, and how tough. And you think about it, even though I did say it, which I think is significant, the fact that all the mainstream media, leave alone the mainstream comic stuff that isn't barely covering it anymore, because the mainstream media like just jumped on it big time because 4 more women came forward like a day or 2 ago. So that's why it's fresh and hot and everything. Boy, hot was the wrong word to say.
And that's kind of why it feels like it felt like a hit piece.
Yeah, well, and that's where it kind of feels like Trump. It kind of feels like other things that all of a sudden all the mainstream media is together doing something
in
target,
lockstep.
and they all have the same they all have the same negative slant. He's guilty until proven innocent.
Now, Neil has come out on his blog and denied all of it.
Yeah,
I mean, not denied that it happened. He's denying that it was coerced.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. I don't
see. That's what I'm saying. It goes back again. If you were employed by him and went through something like that, continued to take his money after that, why would he think anything other than you consented? Why would he think anything different?
Right.
Now, the fact that some of the stuff was scatological is enough for me to like, dude, I'm done with you.
Yeah. I don't get the people who are into poop stuff. That's
and we don't know again there if that's elaborations, if that's
well, again, he didn't deny the activity.
I was gonna say he did not deny the poop.
Yeah, I don't know. I know Dante, and they keep saying he pooped in a pool, but he denies it. He denies it.
Yeah.
To this day, he still denies it. So
yeah, it's probably a Baby Ruth.
Maybe Neil and Amber Heard can get together.
Oh,
exactly.
Now see, she's probably about the right age for him. He's probably, you know what I mean? It's like, hey,
that's a reality show I'd like to watch. Just
poor Joe's like, what the hell did I walk into?
A little late. Yeah.
So
I think we gave Neil enough time, guys. What do you think?
Yeah,
We
sure.
gave him enough time. Any final thoughts on that other than I'm waiting for the court date?
Yeah, just don't. Yeah, I would just encourage people, like we've been saying, just don't judge it by the slant. Pay attention to the words they're using. Actually look at the evidence and things that come out. And do consider that the women could be telling the truth, and whatever. And every situation is different. Some of them could be trying to benefit from him. Some could genuinely be traumatized and whatever. So it's it is kind of an individual, even though there's like 8 women now. It is kind of still an individual basis in a way.
And I just want to say, any of my female friends, ladies, any of you, anything like this ever happens to you, you can come to me and you will have a champion to help you through it. Promise you that. Promise you that. You don't have to feel like you're under.
I don't even know if this is going to court yet. This is just people telling stories to the press. So there is no court case. There is no civil or criminal.
Well,
I think they're talking to lawyers.
Yeah.
I'm sure they are.
And unless they do, I can't give it any credibility if they don't actually provide some kind of freaking proof in court. I can't give it credibility. Okay. And I wouldn't expect anybody to give me credibility if I came out and made some allegations about people and then couldn't provide any kind of doc, right? Nothing. Okay. Yeah. Credibility means a lot, especially out here on the internet when you're talking about news type stuff.
Yeah.
You got, that disclaimer's real, people. You got to know. If you ain't got the actual truth, you can't act like you do. You have to say, this is assumed, alleged. Yes, we don't really know.
Right.
We don't.
Yep.
Yeah, and as far as his books, if you love his books, which I have a bunch of his books on my shelf, I think I got a signed novel by him. If this comes out as true, I mean, if you love his book or books, that's you still like the writing, the person, right. Like when a movie star comes out and you're like, oh, I don't like that person anymore, that movie, you can still say it's still one of my favorite movies, because that was the art that they made, and especially with mainstream books, there's more people that go into the production of it than just, there's his editor, there's might be the artist. You might like his first Sandman. You might be a fan of Sam Keith, so that's why you have the first volume of Sandman or whatever. So I wouldn't just start throwing out all of his books because
I have signed books from him. I have
Mhm.
my death statue that was my Facebook profile. I had a statue of death looking at him.
Right.
It's
Mhm.
signed on the bottom personally to me by Neil in gold ink.
Yeah.
See,
So, yeah, I'm
you
not
see-
gonna like throw it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, if something comes down and turns out to be man, it was he really did all this shit, and it was really an evil turn. The women were really fucking scared of him and all that shit. Man, we'll have a goddamn bonfire on this show. I don't care. But my whole point is, it's like you just until we know for sure. Cherish the things you love, right? It's like you liked it, you still like it till you know. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't take the newfeminist.com word for it or whatever freaking website dropped this story first. And look, all you people out there investigating this shit, leave his wife alone.
Yeah.
Leave his fucking wife alone, man.
Yeah.
She didn't do it,
Did
you
she?
know. And if she did have some knowledge of it, that kind of leads me to believe again there's even
How
more
would he do this with
cause to think it was consensual.
Crazy.
I didn't hear you, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you. I can't do anything without my wife noticing.
Yeah.
I mean, saying leave Amanda alone is sort of like saying, well, Jeffrey killed himself. We don't need to talk to Ghislaine anymore.
Yeah.
The only person in prison for trafficking something nobody's ever received, right?
Yeah, of course.
I love it. That just shows you how twisted this all is, guys. Don't put stock in anything because the media, they don't want you to know the truth. Come on, we know that. Hi, Rock. What do you got to say? See,
Uh-oh.
Rock agrees, right? You agree? Right.
You've got that dog trained to respond vocally.
To anything. You don't. It's not like one word or anything. You can say anything to him, he'll talk back. It's awesome. It's like- yeah. It's gotta hurt. So leave her alone. All right, leave her alone.
Yeah.
And now, who wants to go next? Who wants? Are we going Sorrow or are we going Diamond? What's it gonna be?
What color hat am I putting on?
I don't care. I don't know.
Should we save Sorrow for the headline? What? I mean, it is
Whatever you want to do. Yeah. We can do Diamond.
RJ, you are up, my friend.
Diamond. So Diamond news today. After closing warehouse after warehouse, distribution center after distribution center, they have one left, and they are filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy. What does that mean? That means that they're still a Diamond. They're still doing business as usual. They're just not going to pay a bunch of people because they're restructuring their finances. And the people they owe money to will get pennies on the dollar. Who do they owe money to? Not DC. DC's going through Lunar. Not Marvel. Marvel's going through Penguin.
Yep.
So they owe money to independent comic.
Yeah.
Who are working on a shoestring. Who are not going to get paid.
Valiant, Image, Antarctic Press.
Yeah. I mean, if I was somebody who was basically, my whole clout was that my book was distributed by Diamond, now I'd be feeling like
a little bummed out right now. Yeah.
A little bummed out.
Bummed out right now.
When my claim to fame was my book's carried by Diamond in the stores, suddenly crowdfunding doesn't look so awful.
Not that it did anyway. I mean, we all know, look, Diamond has the reputation of strong arming a whole bunch of people out of the industry back in the day. All right. And then COVID, they kind of the reason for pencils down, another reason for everybody to be pissed at them. Okay.
Look, I had a comic book shop. Michael Tierney's been on my show before several times. Had two stores, Little Rock and North Little Rock. There were no closures in Little Rock. There were no shutdowns or anything. He was open for business. He had
Couldn't
to
get
shut
books.
both stores down because he wasn't getting new material to stay open. He couldn't pay the rent. So
Well,
closed it down, just started doing mail order out of his house.
Yeah, I forgot. You can blame Diamond for a whole bunch of brick and mortar stores going under in the year 2020 and 2021.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
They didn't exactly build back better. When they started to build back, what happened? DC split, Marvel split. Suddenly they were saying, hey, guys, you want the top tier front of the book stuff? Discounted rates. Like, yeah. They were already in the front of the book. You didn't have anybody going there. It was the default position now. Because your mainstream mast-headed characters had left. You're right. They've strong-armed characters. The strong-armed publishers. They have left indie presses in the lurch before. I mean, if you're an indie press and you're working on your third book that you've already paid the artist for, and Diamond comes back and says, "Yeah, we finished, selling all the copies of number 1. We're going to send you back number 2. We're canceling it. It's not worth our time to list it." What do you do? You've got all that money sunk into it, and now you can't sell your book in stores because they won't list you in their catalog because they're not making enough money to print a paragraph.
Yep.
So what's the alternative, RJ? What's the alternative to Diamond? Tell them what it is.
The alternative to Diamond? There's a retail market out there.
Yeah.
You can sell your books on Amazon. You can sell your books I almost said Walden Books. Wow,
that's old
school.
The bottle's empty. Bottle's empty. I'm going back into the deep recesses of the brain now.
Yeah.
You used to buy books at Walden Books.
They were cool.
Books A Million, Barnes and Noble. You can sell them in all those places at one time just by saying, you know who I want to publish my books? Critical Blast Publishing, right here.
What?
I'm looking at sales for this past month for the Black Blossom.
Yep.
The Black Orchid. Damn, how drunk am I?
Yeah.
Did Neil Gaiman do Black Orchid?
Neil Gaiman did write a Black Orchid mini.
Yeah, I know it was Vertigo.
Look at all these.
Hold up. I showed off Black Orchid number 4. The old Black Orchid number 4.
I got
on
the
show-offs the other day. That's not Neil Gaiman, is it? That's an old book.
No. He did a Vertigo take on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It was Adventures
Comics.
Was it?
Adventure Comics, the Black Orchid number 4.
Yeah, this was like a different version. This was like the more Vertigo-ish.
Right.
Dark, creepy.
But we are publishing graphic novels. We are publishing floppies.
One of my favorite brushes. One of my favorite brushes with fame came out of Walden Books.
Do tell.
Yeah.
A lady named Linda Kenton was at Walden Books signing a book, and after the signing, I guess she was, walking around the bookstore looking at books. Well, I wasn't there because I didn't know who the hell she was or nothing. I wasn't there for her. I went there to buy a book. And her and I reached for the same book on the shelf at the same time. And I was like, damn, there's only one here. You go ahead and get that one. I'll go see if there's another one. Turned out she was the Penthouse Pet of the Year. Her and I read the same kind of stuff. It was cool. I was like, that's awesome.
And you let her have it.
Yeah, Linda Kenton. I can't remember what year it was. It had to be in the early
And the
90s.
entire chat is googling away.
She was hot, boy. No doubt about that. She was hot. But yeah, she was really cool. We talked about books for a few minutes that didn't have anything to do with the book she was in. You know what I mean? It was a cool conversation, and I didn't even know who she was till later. Because she gave me her card, and when I looked her up.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool.
Nice.
That's the only Penthouse anything name I remember out of all the years. The only one I remember because I got to meet her.
Yeah. I miss Walden Books too. I do have and I know a lot of indie creators have dealt with this, that have dealt with Diamond. I had, for my first semi-big indie book that I had come out. I think we did, I don't know, 6,000 copies or something. But Pistol Fist was sent out, and it's Revolutionary War time, kind of steampunky kind of story. And so it was getting, especially from areas like you're talking about, it was getting a lot of history buffs that wanted to check it out, and had ordered it. And some of those areas that are very much historic and into history, like, ordered a lot of copies, even though they had like small stores, because they knew that their audience really liked historic stuff. And there were a couple of them that had ordered like 10 to 15 copies of my book, and Diamond only gave them 2. And like 10 of them were like individual people that had ordered it.
Yeah, ordered it for their pull list, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like they ordered like 5 extra to put on their shelf, but they actually had 10 people like legit order it that were supposed to be getting it in their store. So when I heard about that, because the bad thing was too, it was one of the ladies who's been the most supportive of Pistol Fist and some other stuff, because she loves history and stuff like that too. It was like her store, like where that one happened in a couple other stores too. But so I felt like extra bad. And I had pretty much like I had gotten, like, I don't remember from that publisher. It was Alias. It was back in the day. It was, but I had gotten like, I don't know, like 20 something comp copies, and I had to give them all away to stores where Diamond didn't deliver what people had ordered, and people had reached out and they're like, oh my gosh, it's like, what happened? Where is it? I'm like, it came out like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. And it's like, and they weren't getting it. And that's one of the really bad things with Diamond, is they especially screw the small stores. They really do not respect the small stores. And if they can, if one of the bigger stores or one of the famous stores or whatever is interested in something and they have it, they'll give them those copies that are supposed to be going to a smaller store, that isn't as, famous or whatever. And that's one of the problems. It's one of the biggest problems with Diamond, is they don't really have great business practices, and they don't really have people that really serve the audience. And I think that they just think they can get away with it. Or they can't find better people for those jobs or whatever, which means they should probably be paying them more. But it's been a mess for a long time, and everybody knows it. So like
the only time that Diamond will send you more books than you ordered is if Marvel tells them to, and then you know what happens? You're still paying.
You're stuck. You're stuck with them.
And you're stuck with books, inventory, tax.
Yeah.
And yes,
and
you're
those
right,
3 books,
absolutely
those 3
right.
books that your store did get, guaranteed, they came in a single box. One great big single shakety box.
Yeah.
I worked for Barnes & Noble in my youth, and I know they would always just, with the newsstand versions, they'd be ripping covers and send all the covers back. And any indie stuff was done by the special order person, and she just ordered what she wanted. If it was a comic, it's never going to be ordered. It had to have special requests from customers for it to go on the shelf. And before that, I worked at a comic shop, and same thing. Of course, they couldn't do what Barnes & Noble could do, rip the covers off and send them back. They just had to put them in their overflow.
See, that used to be how comics did it.
Yeah,
they used to, because I have a lot of comics that have no covers that were sold after the fact, coverless, because they don't want you to ship them back to them. They just want you to rip the cover off it.
Yep.
Right.
To prove that you can't sell it.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I got a bunch of comics. I actually have like the first appearance of Black Bolt with the coverless comic.
I had some. I didn't know why they didn't have covers when I was young. I was like, oh, okay, well, I still have the story, and I would read it. I had some Fantastic Four, and I had some Hulk, and I was like, cool, I like this book. Too bad it doesn't have a cover, but I didn't know why it didn't have a cover.
It became a badge of honor to have a cover, to have a book that didn't sell back then that has value now.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I love getting a hold of coverless comics now that somebody thought weren't worth shit back in the day. And it didn't sell. They didn't leave it in a dollar bin on the side or whatever. They just
I have a story. Oh, talk about
like
worthless comics.
It's like bootleg.
Yeah.
So,
for me, it's a badge of honor to have one that somebody thought was worthless back in the day that has value now. You know?
So, Pops, do you know the name David Anthony Kraft?
I do not think so.
Okay, he was an editor at Marvel. He went on to do DAK Publications. I was talking with his widow on my show just a few weeks back because we were doing the Southern Nights stuff and the Morgan Wars crossover stuff.
Oh yeah.
So she talked about how he would sometimes use, because he'd get comp copies, any books he worked on, even as an editor, even as an uncredited editor. If you worked on the book because you got pulled in to work on something, you got comp copies. Yeah. And if he didn't like the book, wintertime, he would use them as fire starter. You know what he was using as fire starter for his fireplace?
Oh, don't tell me Hulk 181 or something stupid
Hulk
like that.
181.
Oh, wow.
Exactly that book.
Wow.
He did not like the character of Wolverine. He didn't think it was a great character. He's like, this will never sell. So he was burning them.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, that's what I mean. For me, though, like I said, I got a lot of coverless books, a couple long boxes of them. And every now and then I'll pull out a little stack and I'll look to see what they are. Because it's hard to figure out what they are sometimes. The first page doesn't always tell you, So you're trying to figure out what it is, what issue it is, which volume of what issue it is, and get down to, okay, does it have any significance? And when you find some that do, that's like a bonus, because when it came out, nobody had any faith in it. Just like Dude didn't have no faith in Hulk 181 or Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
Have no faith in the character, right? So I like those kind. I'm a weird collector. Everybody knows that. I like proof copies of stuff. I like it before you fix it. I like what you first put out, shit like that. I like weird stuff. Ash cans, programs, con programs. I have a huge collection of con programs.
Yeah.
I like the weird stuff and coverless comics. And that doesn't mean rip a cover off a comic and try to sell it.
I got a whole bunch I can get you real quick here.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Don't rip the covers off them. They have to have been done a long time ago, right?
Yeah, I have a question, and maybe I don't know if RJ and Joe can answer this, but especially, like, I guess, like, why do we need distributors now that crowdfunding people have learned how to distribute their own stuff? The only thing that I think we really need is a website or something where people can order, and then the publishers themselves, whether they do actually do it themselves or they're hiring a thing to do it for them, like, why not do that?
Can I jump in there on that? Even though you directed it,
Sure. I know, at the smart people. Yeah.
This kind of is what this whole network is about.
Yeah.
Okay, is bringing as many different people with their products together in one place so they're easy to find, easy to order. The website is under, they're building the website now. We have all the TV schedule and all kinds of stuff up on there, but we're also eventually going to be connecting everybody, stores to the website and everything, as much, building exactly what you're talking about as much as we can. But there's a lot of people doing comics and doing book and doing shows. And it's, there's going to be a lot of little cliques like this. Okay. There's Rising Tide. They got a few different shows. Okay. There's Nita's platform over there. The Indie Network, there's different cliques, different collections of shows and creators. And there's always going to be that.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as the one hub, until everybody can agree to get along, there's never going to be one.
Yeah.
There didn't used to be one hub. There used to be all kinds of distributors that you would get your comics from, but you could get most of the comics from different ones.
Right.
Friendly Franks was one. Heroes World, all those places.
Yeah.
But what happened was, retailers didn't like having to order from multiple different places. That's one of the reasons Diamond was able to consolidate everything, was because, hey, look, all through us, one place, one order you got to make, and that's it. You don't get half your shit, but you only have to order from one place.
Yeah.
But now, of course, that's busted up again. Now they've got to order from Lunar. Now they've got to order from Penguin. Now they've got to order from Diamond. If somebody wanted to make some money in this industry, and I wish it could be me, what I would do is I would write an app that scrapes all the books, all the catalogs, all the data from all the distributors, and put it on one single front-facing item that they could go through as a retailer, and then take pennies on the dollar for each one that goes through, and say, oh, you want 50 copies of Captain America 163? Well, guess what? Lunar's got 25 of them we can send you, and Penguin's got 20, and there's 5 over here from Joe's Comics Distribution Shop. And you have no clue where they come from. They just come to you. And this place disperses it. Somebody who could serve as that funnel and have a service that does that.
The guy could be the funnel, but are you going to actually get what you're trying to get from all the different retailers? You know what I mean? It's like there would be some serious shipping, some serious ordering involved with a lot of different places. It would be the kind of thing it would take an RJ to put together because of all the logistics involved. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not some normal guy is going to fucking be able to figure out. It's going to have to take somebody with years of fucking logistics experience behind them.
The people who are already shipping ship. I mean, that's what I do. Amazon already ships, so let them. Walmart already ships, so let them.
Right.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying, though. When you're talking about having to go to 4 or 5 different retailers to fill one order, you're talking about logistics. You're talking about somebody needs to know what the hell they're doing. Joe Blow ain't going to be able to pull this off, right? At least not to the point where you have people ordering 50 books of something from you. You have to build that credibility. You have to build that foundation, right? Kind of like what RJ's already doing with Critical Blast. You bring up the crowdfunding, and then you bring up the aspect of fulfillment. RJ is the kind of guy that takes that pressure off of a creator and handles fulfillment for them, so they go right back to working on their next book and not worry about their books getting to people and getting into people's hands. And there's a lot of different ways people look at what RJ does, and I just want everybody to understand that he does this, and it doesn't there's no extra cost to you.
Right.
You have RJ. There's no cost to you to have RJ fulfill your campaign because he's getting his pay out of the shipping fee.
But see, from the creator perspective, being your own distributor, that's great. There's one distributor. You're going straight to your customer. From a retailer perspective, you're one of too many distributors.
One of thousands.
They can't keep it all. They can't keep it all straight. So, if I want to get this book, I got to go through this guy. If I want to get this book, I go through this guy. All of these books come from this guy here. It drives a retailer nuts into the point where they're like, it's not worth my trying to hit a final cutoff.
That's the only reason they loved Diamond. They had one place to order shit from.
Yeah.
It's the only reason they liked it. Because everything else.
They liked one place, they ended up with only one place because all the others went put.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. And I will say, and I, because I know this from some personal experience, and I can't say totally where some of it comes from, but Penguin getting more and more involved in the comic space with them buying Boom and getting more, and they've also had linked up with some other different lines. The big problem with Penguin getting involved is they have a bookstore mentality, not a comic store mentality. Yeah. So the numbers that you have to hit to be approved by them to like go to print and everything is like crazy. Like I know I know many that they've tried like three or four different times, and they still can't reach, because you're not going to make those same numbers as going to Barnes and Nobles and Books a Million and stuff. You know that they're used to, so that's what they expect, and that's just another, I don't know, that's another kink in the whole.
Yeah, and in fact, that mentality bit them hard the very first week that they shipped books, because they were not used to this being a collectibles market. So what did people get? They got a stack of Marvel comics in a box. Retailers like, what the hell is this? They're all beat up. They got bent corners. Because
that was my issue.
Periodicals.
That was one of the things I used to think. They would send out those. Remember, you get the 1 in 10 and the 1 in 50 when, depending on how many you ordered, you get that one exclusive, right?
Yeah.
But they're all thrown in a box, and it's like the one exclusive's all fucked up. Nobody wants it anyway.
Even Diamond was doing that, but Penguin they had higher hopes for, because again, bigger numbers.
Right.
They now, to their credit, they're like, oh, it's that kind of a market, and the next week of shipments,
what's up,
things
Megan?
were packed neat, stacked, and shrink wrapped, and what have you.
There you are. What's happening? Welcome. And Sarah, I don't know if you noticed, but I gave you a wrench at the end of this morning show because you've been showing up. You've been there. You got links of friends stuff you want to drop. You have the power. You do.
Uh-oh.
That's one of the things about this whole network. I mean, I give everybody wrenches so they can share their links, their friends' links. When you see us live, we encourage self-promotion. If y'all ain't talking about yourself, why am I going to talk about you? Come on. Get off in there. Say hi to the chat. Just drop your links. Let people know you got stuff going on. That's why we're here. Don't make my time worthless, people. Promote. Yeah.
Yes, Sarah, hit Pops with the wrench.
Yeah, and Java over there on Pilled. Good to see you. Good to see you. Ghost Pepper hanging out on Pilled, watching over there. A couple other lurkers on Rumble, places like that. And, you guys understand what's happening. We're actually a news show tonight. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, this will be.
And we got one more big story to cover, don't we?
Yeah.
Don't we, Jeff?
Yeah.
Don't we, Joe?
I really wish, although I know he has stuff going on. Whatever, dude. I know.
We got Christy from Flip City in the chat. We got Cosmic Grandpa in the chat hanging out. Yeah. What's up, people?
Yeah, Nicholas. The reason why I brought up Nicholas is because a lot of this started with Nicholas, with Saint Nicholas being nice and being inquisitive, and on X just asking he saw the same thing that I saw and a few other people did, and he reached out to the current writer of the upcoming Green Lantern miniseries, and because he noticed that. And he also does stuff with Starcross Comics. Starcross Comics is the current publisher of my character, The Sorrow, and he noticed a lot of similarities with the character that they were having. And the thing that was kind of disturbing me, and I was kind of holding back at first a little bit, but as I was like reading some of the different promotional stuff and other things that they were talking about, was that this guy, the Sorrow Lantern, which has some similarities to my character, the Sorrow, what was that they were kind of elevating him, and instead of him being like a C level, D level villain, he's now going to be an A or B level villain, and they're going to give him more screen time, more things to appear in, and all this stuff, and that's where it really started to concern me, because being more of an indie person, although I've done mainstream stuff that a lot of people don't. No, and that's where some people have like accused me of like trying to be a hack as like a way to get in. I've actually done like over 20 graphic novels and done stuff for National Geographic Channel and a bunch of stuff. So I really don't need this headache, honestly. And anybody that's been involved with anything like this, it's kind of like a lot more stress and headache than what it seems to be worth. But the problem is, the other thing with them kind of elevating him that they were talking about is that they were going to not just make him this sad character who's kind of whose like ring, which is a little weird to me because it was what's his face, Green Lantern's girlfriend, wife, or whatever, is her engagement ring that she rejected him. That is actually his ring, or his power thing that he's powered by, which is a little weird. But like it was like more of that and more kind of like intimate and everything. And now they're kind of morphing him into being like sorrow incarnate. Like he is like living sorrow. And that's what my character is. And they've also been, although in the past they called him Sorrow Lantern, everybody that's been talking about him, the writer, the artist, and a lot of the other people, keep just calling him Sorrow instead of like Sorrow Lantern, or like, and I'm like, okay, this is getting like really close. It's like the same name and the same powers. I personally, there are people I know that think they did it on purpose. I don't necessarily think that, but it's just too close for comfort, especially when I created mine 8 years before theirs came about.
Here's the thing that stands out to me with the Sorrow Lantern. Now, I understand, and it's stupid, but I understand that the emotional spectrum ties to all these different colors. We've got orange lanterns of avarice, and we've got yellow lanterns of fear, and black lanterns of death. Every single lantern of every single emotion is always, without exception, referred to by their color.
Yeah.
But this guy, Sorrow Lantern, is almost set up to where, yeah, we know it's really hard to say, but we're going to shorten it. Don't worry about it. They didn't call him Gray Lantern,
right?
Which would stick with, using the color schemes of the emotions involved. They went straight for the emotion itself. Might as well call Hal Jordan Will Lantern.
Yeah.
There's probably a Will Lantern in the phone book somewhere.
There probably is. Yeah. And so the thing is, and that really, and this is the thing that was kind of getting to me, is that the thing is, when they elevate a character like that, they make a crap load of money off them, because when they make a character more important, then he's going to show up in video games. He is going to show up in more comic stuff. He's probably going to show up as a villain of the week in some DC TV show or something, especially they have a Green Lantern TV show coming out. And they are talking about doing some sort of Green Lantern Corps movie or something. And it's like, there's a good chance, even if he's not the main villain, he may appear in there or something. And if he has all of that amplified and all of that attention and all that stuff, that kind of does impede on my character. And a lot of people will assume that I'm copying their character, which is always, and most people know comic fans can be brutal. And they can be very much like cancel culture and everything too, when they want to, and they, smell fresh meat or whatever. So that's really the thing that really kind of turned me around on it, that made me think, okay, I'm not overreacting, is that I had like 3 different people. One was comic store owner, and a couple other ones were different creatives that I know who have had vaguely similar things, not exactly this kind of thing, but where stuff has come out that's been kind of close to what they had already done several years ago. And they were like, well, this stuff happens all the time.
Yeah.
And then, but then when they actually were like, read the article from, what's it called? Bleeding Fool. And when they actually were like looking at other stuff and hearing from other people, that was when like they made the effort to contact me, and they're like, dude, you can't let them get away with this. Like they totally changed from, oh, this happens all the time, to, okay, whether they did it intentionally or not is way too close. I mean, this is legally way too close. And so yeah, that's that's what kind of pushed me to the point where I'm like, I really need to say something. And I know it's a difficult situation for an indie publisher like Starcross Comics, because it's not like they have a bunch of power or a bunch of money or whatever. And honestly, there was a couple little comments where they said stuff back, where the DC Legal said stuff to Nicholas back, and it was, to me, it seemed kind of passive aggressive bullying, like, because they were basically implying like, in the end, we agree that the publishers should not have characters that are too similar. And the implication of the way he said it was that someone is going to step down, somebody is not going to publish, and of course they're assuming that's going to be the little guy.
Yes.
I mean, it's not going to be them.
Can I jump in here real quick? Because this is the way I see these things always play out. They think we can just drag them out in court to the point where they're sick of spending money or they give up. Yep. And they have the money to do that. They think they can get away with it. But this is the day of social media. This is the day you get tried online.
Yeah.
Okay. So keep with that narrative, boys. We will push. We will push back. We're not going to let y'all get away with it. I'm just saying.
This goes all the way back to how DC acquired Captain Marvel.
There you go.
They just sued. They were in the legal wrong, but they sued until the point where Fawcett couldn't afford to go to court anymore. More recently, because
terrible.
No one's going to say business practices from 1942.
No, I can tell you a recent story about Kirkland and The Walking Dead, and a little comic called Still Talking with the Dead that they buried and made them change the name of.
Yeah, but they were first
fight
in that
somebody
instance.
with more money than you in court because they would just continue. They would drag out till you run out of money.
Yeah,
well, I can give you another recent one that's a little bit more in line with what we're talking about here, because we covered it about, I want to say 6 years ago, when DC introduced Punchline. Joker's girlfriend. Now, there was already a comic book out there called Punchline, but there was no character. That was the name of the book for reasons, because they thought it was a good title.
Right.
But at the same time, Ted Sikora over at Hero Tomorrow Publishing did have a character and did have a title book called Punchline about a killer clown.
Yeah.
Which, you had way too many similarities. Now, male and female,
right.
boxer and kick fighter.
And I got to meet Ted for the first time not that long ago. Hi, Ted. If you're watching, what's up?
Ted's a great guy. I love talking with Ted. He puts out some very cool books, too. You should check out the Hero Tomorrow line of books. They're what indie is all about. They're unique.
All these guys are what indie's all about. Everybody that comes out here that's promoting a book, or like RJ that's trying to help get books in people's hands, he's that bridge for you guys. Anybody out there that's thinking about, I want to make a comic, but I don't want to deal with all the freaking fulfillment and printing and putting it on Amazon and all that stuff. I'm just a writer. I'm just a creator. RJ's the guy you call.
Do one crowdfunding campaign and you will feel that way.
Yeah.
See, but here's the thing.
I'm trying to avoid the hurt. I'm trying to avoid just send you to RJ from the get. And RJ, I tell you, I've sent a lot of people his way over the last 5 years.
And they keep DMing me, and I'm getting, starting to have nervous breakdowns over all the work I'm doing. But
I told him he is going to work. I'm going to make him grow until he has to hire me. I told him that a long time ago. And eventually,
nothing can go wrong this year. This year has started out so fucking fantastic. Sorry, Carrie. I said the F word on the air. But the thing about Punchline was that nobody did anything because it was just a character. Just a character. Okay, you can have characters of the same names. Marvel and DC have a Sandman. Marvel, Marvel and the BBC have the Avengers. It's why you have to. It's the trademark issue that you've got to watch for. And if you haven't trademarked Sorrow yet, this is where you're going to be. This is where you're going to be kicking yourself in the ass, because Punchline wasn't trademarked. So at the time, there's no book called Punchline. It's just a character.
Right.
Since then, there's been a Punchline miniseries. There have been Punchline action figures and statues. They have turned it into a logo, and they have taken over the ownership in the public eye of Punchline. Punchline is now a DC character when you mention it in comic stores.
Right.
So I have a book called Crazy Nine, and I was
like
in
that
a
book,
lawsuit.
too.
Oh, thank you. I was in a lawsuit with Netflix because they made a series with Jamie Foxx called Project Power, and the poster was right off my cover. The drug that they use in my comic was the exact same thing. The characters, even though they were human people, they were all the same characters. They used the same catchphrase for the book. They used the same panels from my book as scenes from the book. They used the same powers. They had the same necklace with the drug on it. Like every page was the same page. So my lawyer, who used to own a comic book store, and his wife is a lawyer, he said, yeah, 100%. The thing is, it was too expensive to go. And the writer who sold this to Netflix, his only credit was adapting other people's stories, and he sold it to them the same day, or not the same day, but the same the next month after my campaign ended at that time. So everything lined up exactly, and he had never come up with anything on his own except he adapts other people's stories. And they said this is the first time he's ever come up with something, that wasn't office. It was crazy, but so it was going to be having to sue him because Netflix would say, well, we took it in good faith, so we have nothing to do with that. So that's when it got so expensive, because you need a stockpile of money to go up against them, even though you would win down the line, and everybody knows how long court cases go.
That's what I was talking about.
So you need lasting power, and then you'll eventually win, but you need to be able to go
you got to keep paying that lawyer for that $100 now. You see what I'm saying? And that's the bottom line right there. You got to keep being able to pay that lawyer through every continuation, every drag out, every time they can get the judge to say, let it go another 60 days. You got to keep paying your lawyer. So
how much justice can you afford?
They bury you under your own budget. You don't have the budget to fight them. They know it, and they're going to try to put you under the thumb. And that's when shows like this and comic fans and comic promoters and comic supporters can come out here online and say, hey, fuck you.
Yeah, and they don't want the bad press. They don't want to be looked at like they're stealing someone's character. And that lawyer, he makes I write policies for work, and he's giving this is DC's policy. We don't copy people. Yeah, well, obviously, why wouldn't that be your policy? But the thing is, that lawyer is not in the living room where that artist draws that character every day and emails them. He's not in the home office of the writer when he wrote that character. Whether it was the writer and artist, or sometimes the writer is very detailed on what he wants the character to look like, and sometimes he goes, I don't know, just come up with something, and the artist does it. Well, that lawyer does not live in Ohio or Florida, where these artists and writers live, where he goes, what was your inspiration for coming up? So when he makes a statement, he's making a statement that he has no clue how these creators created. They could have been watching a cartoon show, and that's how they came up with it. He doesn't know. He can't vouch for them. He has no clue how they came up with. He's not on the creative team. He's on the legal team. So his statement is 100% relative, other than saying DC doesn't actively steal people's character. Well, no, not on paper. Why would that be?
Our competition, which is part and parcel of what they do, steal other people's characters.
Yeah. I still remember that Captain Marvel thing too. That was that's one of the, to me, that's definitely a stain on DC. And I actually, in a lot of ways, this is a kind of weird thing right now, is because I've been kind of keeping up, and that's one of the reasons why I actually saw the stuff in the store and in some of the promotional material. But I've been kind of keeping up a little bit, just trying to see what's out there and all these different things. And man, I mean, Marvel is just producing trash compared to DC. And DC is actually producing some good stuff. Like I like the New Gods thing, and actually,
That was
honestly, the Green and I know Nicholas said this too. I mean, we like the writer who's writing the Green Lantern miniseries that's coming out, and it looks great. The artist is great. I'm not crazy that they have a Sorrow character extremely similar to mine, and it's more. Some people get hung up on the visuals. It's not just the visuals. It's the fact that he is Sorrow incarnate, which is what my character is, and that is. Yeah, and they're and then they've been kind of dropping.
He's got the tears.
Yeah, he's got the tears coming down. Which I mean, some of these things, yes, they're obvious.
It looks like he materializes up from.
Right. Yeah, the way that they do stuff, and they have, and that's what we've had with the Sorrow too. Is he has kind of like a mist. In my point of view, it's more like made of like tears and stuff, and like that's what the.
But it's very close.
But I mean, every time this guy appears, he has clouds and stuff all around him too, and they're supposed to be, which technically they're probably made of some kind of liquid if they're cloud,
Right.
So yeah.
I told someone the other day, if you create a character and you call him the Wolverine, and let's say you don't know anything about comics, and you're like, oh well, it's kind of based off my old high school football team or the Wolverines, right? So he's this hairy guy or whatever. People aren't going to go, hey, this like Wolverine from the X. Not necessarily. He could look like a werewolf or something. But then let's say you create another character and he's called, Fantastic Man, and he kind of has Wolverine's yellow suit with the, yellow and the blue shoulder pads and everything, and he has some kind of claws. You're like, yeah, but at least he's not called Wolverine. But if you put the two together and he's called Wolverine and he has the yellow suit with the blue shoulder pads and claws, you go, oh, well, I've never seen the X-Men character. You're like, okay, dude, you must have like seen it in a Google image search or something, because you straight up copied Wolverine from the X-Men. But one or the other, name and look, because if that character was called the Nightmare, it wouldn't have even popped up on you wouldn't have even noticed it, Maybe you're like, oh, those tears, but or if a character was called the Sorrow and he just looked like some kind of monster, and you're like, well, it's my name, but that character looks nothing like my character. But the fact that it's both, that's when you go, whoa, that's a straight copy.
And honestly,
our issue, you need to put out an issue of the Sorrow quickly. And it needs to have a TM next to the title.
Yeah.
Do an ash can. Look, Jeff, do an ash can. Just that's how they used to protect their fucking shit back in the day, was by doing an ash can real quick, trademark it, get it out there, and let them eat it, dude.
Little injustices allowed to persist.
RJ will even help you get that shit out tomorrow, bro.
Decades down the road. Because DC sued Charlton into oblivion, Marvel picked up the trademark and we had to sit through a Brie Larson film.
Well, we have the Sorrow here,
Jeff, I'm saying, RJ can get you an ash can printed up.
No, you're right.
You've got to get a title, a logo, and a TM mark on there. You don't have to file for TM. TM says you intend to file.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Have RJ print you up a fucking couple ash cans real quick. Boom, you're covered, bro.
18 pages is all I need.
Yeah, and the best thing, and that was one angle that I had not thought of, that I was really glad that RJ brought up, was the fact that which makes it worse in a way, is that he's not called by his color like all the other lanterns.
Right.
He's called by the emotion.
Right.
It's so individual. It is so unique, and they nailed themselves. And I'm telling you, look, and you and RJ need to talk. You need to put something together right away. Have him get something printed up like right now. Don't wait for some printing company to do some shit. Talk to RJ, get it done right freaking now.
Because that will help you win faster, and you can win against the larger publishers.
Yeah.
Michael Kearney, the guy that I just said lost 2 stores when Diamond shut down. Also a publisher. He has a book called The Wild Stars. He's been publishing it since 1976, 1982, somewhere in that window. It's been still ongoing. Do you remember Image's Wild Star?
I have it.
Yeah.
Have you seen any recently?
No, it just disappeared. Yeah.
It disappeared because Michael Tierney said my trademark, and they said no, it's not. He said, "There's my R, my circle R, my trademark. You cannot infringe." Went away.
Yeah.
So it definitely, look, Jeff, this is why I build this and get everybody to know each other. Like, I don't know what kind of turnover you have with your regular printing company or whatever, but talk to RJ about this. Get something out right now. RJ will help you get something out right now that protects that freaking title, that protects that character. Just do it. Just do it. The whole reason I'm bringing all these people together is so that you guys
Don't you have the old
have
books
each
in
other
print
again.
still?
Yeah, and it's actually the original one that was printed in like 2006 or 2005 is still up on Indie Planet, where people can order it. Does not have a little. I mean, me personally, I only have a couple
issues, not copies. Issues.
Oh, it was one issue. It was one issue. It's a pretty big issue. It's like 40 pages or something like that.
So you don't have like a number 2 and a number 3.
No, but he did. But then he has appeared and he is going to appear in more of the Starcross comics.
He's a member of the Starcross universe, not the DC universe. That's what we're trying to get through to these people. Right?
Yeah. So, like, even though it was like back then, it's still, he is still relevant. Still could be conflict.
Take the interior files off of Indie Planet. Get a new cover.
Yeah.
Title it The Sorrow Special Edition. TM.
Yeah.
Get printed. Get published. Get a copy in hand.
Yeah. What was it gonna? Oh man.
We have the new logo masthead, so let me know if you need that.
Yeah.
I think Evan David made it.
Put this thing together, guys. Let's beat these.
And I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now what I would charge for that.
Nothing. Let's do it. Let's get it done. Don't mess around. Get together. Get it done. Look, guys, my time to me is priceless. I'm out here trying to make sure stuff like this kind of injustice doesn't happen, and that you guys have an avenue to go, a direction to go. That's why I bring all these people together. RJ is a godsend to this network.
In fact,
Cosmic Grandpa, godsend to this network. You guys, you got to understand what I'm building is going to benefit everybody, because we're not going to let them step on us no more.
It occurs to me that I just did this last month. I just published a book last month and made sure that the TMs were all in the right place, because Marvel was putting out a character called Blue Bolt.
Yep.
Well, there was already a trademarked character named Blue Bolt, published by Heroic by Roy and Dan Thomas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it came to me like, hey, you just did Flair. Can you help us with Roy Thomas's issue with Marvel right now? Like, oh yeah. Yeah.
I have an idea. So some of the Starcross guys drew a bunch of pinups for of the Sorrow, and we're going to put it in a book. But I would say, this is a little side thing, but it could generate a lot of attention. All the indie artists out there watching, or if you know other indie artists that you could tell them to draw the Sorrow, J.S. Earls Sorrow, and post it. Just say, hey, I drew the Sorrow in
created by
solidarity.
Credit him as the creator.
And imagine if there were like 100 indie artists all drawing the Sorrow. People would be like, what is this for? And then their artist friends would go, oh, what's the story? What's the issue with these? And then they would read the articles, and then they would go, well, I'm going to draw the Sorrow now. Can you see how that could snowball into?
And then what we're going to do after that, Jeff? You know what we're going to do? RJ, we're going to make an art book about the Sorrow, aren't we?
Yeah.
About Jeff Earls The Sorrow, not about DC's The Sorrow. You see what I'm saying?
About J.S. Earls. Yeah. Right there on the masthead.
Yeah. There is, and I'll put this out there for anybody else that's running into something like this and everything too. I will say, and now the attorneys or whatever have to agree to it, and sometimes bigger ones do. But there is a something called a contingency agreement where you don't actually have to, where you don't have to pay the attorney fees and stuff like that up front. Like, it will get taken out which can make you standing up to bigger people more affordable. And so you might want to, if you're thinking about doing something like that, you might want to look into that. That is one thing I am looking into, because I do have, my best friend is a lawyer, but he's been talking to people who are actually trial lawyers and trial copyright and trademark lawyers. And they're very interested in the case. And they sent it to their trademark division, and he is going to be talking with them, trying to get them to do the contingency agreement, because sometimes they do, but I don't know what all makes that decision for them. But I would at least, if you're looking for a lawyer or something, I would at least see if they would be willing to that. If you're thinking of taking on Universal or something. Yes, Kenny, do your red hat, do your black hat.
I can't let any topic go by without switching hats for just a second.
My goodness.
Black hat. You're talking, hey, characters, similar appearance, similar power sets, all that stuff, similar appearances. Guy at Marvel wants to know why he looks so much like Moon Knight.
I saw that somebody posted that, and that bothered me because I'm a big Moon Knight fan, and I get it. Just because somebody has a white hood, so no one else. So it just looks like Taskmaster too, right? It looks just like anyone with a white hood. Like, you can't have a white hood without it. Sorrow's made out of like water.
But he doesn't have Moon Knight's powers.
No,
he's not. He's not named Moon Knight.
Completely different. Yeah.
And and his whole suit is more black, and
I really like this idea, Jeff. I think you should come out to a draw stream soon and host a themed draw stream and have everybody in the draw Sorrow.
That's great for social media, but I'm telling you, physical item with the TM on it.
That's what I'm saying. I want you guys, I told you guys, get together and do that. That's not even a question. I want to ask Ken for Sorrow. I want it like tomorrow. I know RJ can make this happen. You guys just get together and make it happen.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we will. I know Joe's probably gonna have to go to bed because he gets up early, but
it's okay. It's actually an hour earlier for me. Yeah, it's only 8:30 for me. I thought you guys were an hour ahead, so I'm like, I got 2 hours before I have to be on the show.
I know.
Did you get my 30-minute warning, Joe?
No, he wasn't on.
I sent you a 30-minute warning. I was like,
I did, but I was playing with my son. Watching
family.
That is priorities.
But I really think that would be a great idea, Joe or Jeff. If you want to host one of our draw streams, we got 3 a week, man. So come out, host one, and we'll get the artists to draw Sorrow. And we'll throw them some reference art, and we'll all have them draw your character and credit you as the creator of said character, and we'll plaster that shit all over social media, like RJ said. It's just media. But social media changes things for people. You guys know it. Yeah. Suppression and or boosting stuff on social media makes a huge difference.
I got to give credit before it seems like I'm not, but Luke Stone was the one who contacted Bleeding Fool, even though I talked to Bleeding Fool, but he's the one who made that step and it didn't occur to me. So when I told him about it, he all of a sudden that's when Bleeding Fool started doing the article, and I didn't know, but then later Luke I told him about the situation. So I was like, oh, awesome, thanks. So I just want to
I'll give him another shout out. Chris at Bleeding Fool is the first person who ever did a press release for the Madness Network.
Yeah.
A very early CromCon, and then RJ was next.
I will say too, one of the things that that Nicholas did when he had reached out to the artist, and DC, and then I not the artist, the writer, and then I guess the writer had reached out to DC Legal, and they emailed, and DC Legal emailed Nicholas, and Nicholas did give them my name and my email, and as of today, and this was like 5 days ago or something, they still have not contacted me.
Oh, weird.
Well, of course not.
Yeah,
They-
yeah, and they sent you guys, and that's why, because they want the little guy to stand down
Yeah.
and not publish it. You know,
Mhm.
but they're not reaching out to me, the one who
That
is
doesn't make
actually
any sense.
has the issue. Well, they don't want the competition. I mean, I wouldn't
Yeah.
even say necessarily competition, really,
Yeah.
but they don't want that, because they, you know, and I get it, man. They you know, lawyers have to act tough and mean, because that's their job when they do stuff like that, and and you know, it is what it is. But I did want to let people know, actually today we did send a cease and desist letter to that attorney, since we have his contact info, thanks to Nicholas, even though he has not reached out to me. So they will be getting that, and yeah, we're gonna
And
you know, take a stand. And honestly, and this is one of the things, like you've been saying, Pops, it is one of those things when, you know, when things like this happen and there's a potential for the corporation to make a lot of money off of all, especially off of all the ancillary stuff with the video games and any
Yes,
other thing,
merchandising,
because
figures.
they need content, and they need characters for all those things, and for all those different skins that they have and stuff for the different characters in video games and stuff. They, you know, they just throw all kinds of stuff, and you know, so that's why I posted. If anyone wants to see it, I posted a thing, and I did it because of my situation, but I was also just doing it to share in general for people of why creators, whether big or small or whatever, should be concerned about corporations infringing on their rights.
That's what I was going to say. It doesn't matter if you like me. It doesn't matter if you like RJ or Joe or Jeff. This concerns all independent creators, and this could happen to you. They don't like you. You're a small press publisher, and they want your character, but they don't want you to make any money off it. They don't like you. Everybody should be sharing this show out right now. Everybody.
John Delarose made a good point in his video where he said, you know, this is interesting because just the fact that DC Legal reached out, normally they would just go, they would just ignore you, and that would be their response. Like, you're so insignificant, I'm not even going to dignify with a response. But the fact that they did respond means that there is something there in their mind, or they'd say, this, I'm not going to email them, you know.
Especially
but the fact that they reached out and wasted their time to even type means, because he gets paid, right? He get paid to write that email.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they used money just to write that email, you know. So that means there's something there. Why would they? Why would DC waste?
And they send it to? Do they send emails to you and Nicholas?
Yes.
Yeah, to both
I
of
just
them.
can't emphasize
And
enough.
then I sent them. I sent that lawyer your contact info, and then.
So he's gotten it twice.
Yes.
I can't emphasize enough how much this affects everybody. Everybody. Every time they step on one of you guys. Okay, I remember when Yacht Company stepped on my friend Paul Gomez over a character and title that didn't have shit to do with what theirs was. It was just the same title. The book was completely different. Everything about it was completely different. Had the same title, and they shit all over Joe, or all over Paul, and scared him into changing his whole freaking everything, basically, and redoing his campaign. He had to shut his campaign down, everything, and they had no basis, none.
Yeah.
But they scared him. They put the thumb on him.
Yep.
You guys, you got to get together with each other and not let them do this to you guys. Even if it's somebody you don't like, it could happen to you. Don't let them get away with it once. Don't let them get away with it twice. Don't let them get away with it when they look at you. Just saying, man. Come on.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, it's definitely the time for people to stand up. I mean, the culture and everything is a lot more united around the little guys and it's a good time if you have a reason to. Obviously, it's not good if you don't really have a reason, and there aren't that many things connecting and in common. I did want to say just real quick that I actually, and this was I'll just say this real quick, but I was on I was actually speaking to a class of Roland Mans at Full Sail University, and
Silverline Comics, also 3 shows right here on the network.
Yep.
Tons of good content, guys. They got killer comics. They got good content on their shows.
Yeah, good people, and Roland is an awesome guy too. And I was kind of shocked because I think it wasn't that long. Like I had gotten my book Pistol Fist ended up. I think it was right around the time it was starting to be published, or a graphic novel published by it was either Arcana or it was Blue Water, who ended up doing the full miniseries. And there was a couple other things I was doing. I don't think this was back when I did the Meg graphic novel, but there's some other stuff. And it was interesting because it basically was kind of like mostly like a Q&A. I kind of gave them advice on different things. But most of it was like Q&A where they could ask me whatever, whether it was business related or writing related or whatever. And it was interesting. There was a couple of them that started bringing up the Sorrow and were asking all about it, because when they looked up my name, they had found all this stuff and they're like, wow, this is really cool. It was this was a big anti-child abuse thing that they had done, and he created a character for it. I actually created, and I know not a lot of people remember, but when I created this back in when I first got the idea, it was 2002, 2003. And the main reason was because I was a young father at that time. And and around that time, since I live in crazy Florida, but there were 4 national big things where kids had been kidnapped and raped and killed that happened within 1 year's time. It was three, and then it was another one, and it was and they were horrible. I mean, just horrible stories of the kids with the bags over their heads and just slamming them in the mud and just all this different stuff. And man, as a young father, it made me want to cry. Yeah, it made me want to cry, but it was also I was so angry, and I was just I would kill them. I would, if that was somebody, that it would be really hard for me to hold myself back. I wouldn't go through anything elaborate, but that was what. But honestly, that's why, in some ways, the Sorrow is really sacred to me in a way, because it's it was born from that, and the idea for it was because I was because it's because I think a couple of them the kids were in trunks and stuff of cars, and I was who could get to, or how could you get to a kid that is in a trunk? And then that was when I was picturing a child crying, and then he can travel through tears, so he could be there, and then he could just beat the crap out of or kill the pedophile or whatever. And I was just and that's the thing to me. It's just, it comes from this really kind of deep, almost sacred space. And I'll say this too. I have one of my buddies, Juan. I can't say his last name, Quadradillo or something like that. But he's in Argentina. And he really wanted to be a part. The coolest thing was just getting kind of that concepts and stuff really brought a lot of people, a lot of different artists and people wanting to be involved, and some that wanted to be, but they had been abused, and they're this is too close for me to do it. But man, I 100% approve, and I'll share it. But that artist, even though he wasn't able to be involved at the time because he had contacted me a little bit late. But he talked about it because he started doing things, and he did a special picture for it, for a pinup or something. And then he had a big Argentina newspaper read about it. And and they're like, and then after that, they have homes. They have homes for in Argentina. They're almost like orphanages, but they're for kids that have been like molested and abused and stuff. And one of those asked him to come and talk to the kids and draw if he wanted to and stuff like that. And like all of those kids there were just like they were, I mean, they were wowed that anybody wanted to even see them. And they said, like, this is our hero. Like this is a character like that we can, this is what we needed. Like we like this is our hero that could help us and knows what we went through. And it was so powerful. And then and so he was drawing stuff, and most of the I think he said at least like 2 different kids had like hugged him and stuff
Yeah.
and were like crying, and they were like we thought everybody had forgotten about us.
And see, look, guys, this is something that every single person in a community can do. Can you imagine if all of you took your love and your knowledge to a school classroom once a year? Everybody, okay? Yeah. Everybody takes what they do to a school classroom once a year, at least once a year, and talks to kids about positive things.
Yeah.
Okay, look, everybody in the comic industry could go into any grade school, any elementary school, any middle school, and go to the principal and say, I'd like to talk to the art class. And you would be escorted right in there, man, and you'd be able to help to explain what it is you do and why you do it to young, hungry minds. There's not enough positive things.
I actually have a friend who's part of this organization that does that with artists going to like children's hospitals.
That too.
And they're always like looking for people to do that, especially if it's like terminally ill kids and stuff. It's like, man, you can just going, you can make their day,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna move you so much too. I mean, because that artist that did that, he was like that. He's like, I will never forget that. He's like, that is one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in my life. And
see, I can remember when I first started doing what I do, when I did the first CromCon show. I think RJ remembers. I was never that guy that publicly went out and helped people. Okay, my door was open to anybody that came to it needing something, but I wasn't the guy that went out and blew a horn about it. When I started doing CromCon, I had to blow a horn about it, or how am I going to get people to come look at what you guys do, right? I had to go out there and start like being that guy. And my grandson asked me, what do you do, Grandpa? What do you do? And I explained to him that, all the cons got shut down by COVID. And I came out here and I built a show to try and help people still get seen and still have an opportunity to sell books and whatnot. And he looked at me and he goes, so you're a problem solver. Never thought of myself as a problem solver or an influencer or whatever. I just saw my people needed help. That was all. And look what it has become. We're out here now talking about all kinds of things and doing all kinds of different stuff. It's got to grow. It has to keep growing. The roots are there. I want this to last long after I'm gone. You know what I mean? I'm not building this so I can get some gratification over my years going out. I want my grandson to be able to look at this shit when he's an adult and see people just like you guys talking about hopefully more positive situations in the comic industry.
Remember back in the day when we had to meet online and bring all this up?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really trying to build something that outlasts me. It's not about me. And a lot of people don't realize that, but it really isn't, guys. It's not.
Well, that won't be too hard. You're like 89, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm all the way out I'm already out the door, man. I just it grabbed my belt loop and it hadn't shut on me yet. You know what I mean?
They keep pulling you back in.
Yeah. No, I love this, man. I've loved it since the day I started doing it. Everybody knows it. I get up every day and come out here and we're doing something every day.
Yeah.
You got to have some kind of love for it to do it every day. Is that right, RJ?
I did want to say, just because there may be people that know Joe, or I don't know, there might be new people to seeing this and they might not be aware of what you did during the lockdown, but that was Pop's thing, is when everybody's in lockdown and all the artists and writers were having trouble getting things out, getting people to see their stuff because there's no cons or anything. He started doing basically online convention and just having tons of people. I think it was every Monday.
Every
main
month. It was one.
Yeah.
The RomCon was once a month. It was the last weekend of the month. But then we did Monday Madness. All these other shows started growing out of it.
Yeah.
Tuesday Morning Brew, which Lori does now, that started way back then. Doc Show, which he still does on his network. A lot of shows started because of CromCon, and then just the Madness Open Draw Stream on Sunday. We've been doing that thing for almost 4 years now.
Yeah.
And it's open. Anybody that wants to draw, come out and hang out with the artists and draw. You're more than welcome. My boy Levi right here. He be coasting that stuff. What's up, Levi?
How's it going? I'm back here pushing buttons.
It's the Wizard of Oz.
I did want to give you an opportunity. If you wanted to comment on any of this stuff, Levi, I know you've been back there with restraint. If there was
I did comment. I did the draw stream. Let's get a bunch of these drawings out there and just produce something with it.
Yes. Let's build a Sorrow art book just to piss DC off. What do you think?
Yeah.
Hurry.
Yeah. Definitely got to get stuff out. Get stuff
Saturday,
out quick.
Saturday, Sunday, or Tuesday. We got 3 draw streams.
We got 3 draw streams. You can pick one. You can come out and host it. You can invite friends of yours as well, artists from Starcross, artists from wherever, friends of Mike's, whoever you can get out.
Yeah.
Draw a picture of Sorrow. They don't have to hang out for the whole 2-3 hour show. They pop in if they're quick. If they draw fast, like people like Addie or Manny, boom, you'll have a Sorrow in about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely want to do that. I want to help you. And RJ already told you he will do this for nothing. Let's just get it done. No hemming and hawing. No, what are we going to do? Let's just get something out there that puts that little circle R next to it, and then we go from there. We build an art book.
Give me the circle R. Let's be clear on that. Circle R is going to take a while. You could be
TM, whatever. Let's get something. Let's get something out there that depicts it as with you as the creator.
Yeah.
But Pops, you bring up a great point there. If you do have the circle R, you don't have to fight for that trademark. The government will fight for you.
Yes.
They federally registered it. Somebody breaks that trademark, you're just like, somebody broke my trademark. Where is it? Right here. You got a circle R? Yeah. Okay, we'll call you back. You go back.
SEAL Team 6.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarah, we have 3 open draw streams. Stephen B's draw stream Saturday night. We got people drawing all over this network all the time. We got Braves Piano bopping into Twitch and dropping a cookie or a can. Holy crap, we love you. What's that? What is up? We got people on Pilled. They love what we're doing. We kind of introduced something different to that platform. There's a lot of news there. There's a lot of sports there, but not a lot of comic stuff. We can't kind of hit them by storm with a bunch of different shows, and we're getting some following over there. I love it. And Braves Piano, look, if you love sports and you don't have your pay-per-view or money to pay for a whole season or something, you go over to Pill, you subscribe to BSPN, and you can watch all kinds of sports for free. Don't cost nothing. Hey, she's awesome. Drop a little dollar on her or something every now and then. It's all good. 8 years to win a copyright claim against Coors for calling Keystone. Yeah, they just had a show about this the other night on 3 Beer Men right here on the network. You see what I'm saying? We're covering all this stuff for you guys. Just tune in. You'll catch everything. Everything.
Nice. Hey, what? Okay, so if you can repeat it, because I'm trying to write it down here. So what are the days and times of the draw streams?
Tuesday is 3 o'clock, and that is exclusively to the Pill Network,
Okay.
pill.net. Saturday and Sunday at 1 o'clock, go to all the platforms.
Cool.
So pick one that fits for you. We got you, bro. Definitely. Praise George. But yeah, look, protect each other, promote each other, support each other. Do what indie comics supposed to do. You know, y'all don't have that giant conglomerate that's promoting you, that's making movies, that sell your books. None of that. Y'all got yourselves and your friends. Be friendly and promote yourselves. Just saying. You know.
Yeah.
Wow, that should be a new catchphrase for the network. Huh? Be friendly and promote yourself. There you go.
Nice. Is that it, or do we have other people to pick on? Can I pick on RJ now? Can I? Wait, I'll pick on RJ. Hold on.
All right.
Get my. I'm joking. I have nothing to pick on RJ.
We can do a Blazing Saddles and both put on a white hat.
Yeah.
I don't have a white hat or a black hat. I just got an indie hat. You see that? This is all indie people.
Mine's in the closet.
Yeah.
I can't wear mine anymore. It weighs 30 pounds.
Yep.
Yep. There's RJ up there on the side. Everybody's on here.
Oh, he's smaller than I imagine.
Tune into the Madness Network all the time. We got another show right here tonight, 11 o'clock, Silverline, Tuesday, with Tim TK and the rest of his crew. Tomorrow morning, tomorrow at noon, the Comic Artists Hour. You know, Wednesdays are kind of lit up. We got First Impressions, and we got Silverline again, and the Baron Earl Show, which I think, Jeff, you got Vaughn Coleman tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, as long as he shows up. Yep.
Oh, you're doing it live?
No, we're doing it. We're recording it, I think, early afternoon. But yeah, I'm not planning on editing it, so it'll be nice and raw for you.
There you go. I look. We don't do any editing on anything.
I know.
Except Lori's show and the Fourth Wall interview. Actually, I don't edit the Fourth Wall interview, but I do record it ahead of time. But I still do it in one take, and whatever happens, happens. You know, I don't edit anything out. If you can get in the head of your character, and you'd like to come out and let Pops interview your character, not you. Not talking about your book, not talking about you. We're not talking about your team. I want to talk to your character. I want to know about him, what he does, how he got his powers in his own words. If you could get in the head of your character and you'd like to be interviewed by Pops, your character to be interviewed by Pops, let me know. Fourth Wall Interviews is a thing. If you're a glutton for punishment, Killer Karen is the show for you. Hit up Lori Calgatera or myself to get on Killer Karen and have a Karen destroy your book live or destroy you live, whatever, you know. Be prepared for that one. Look, we have some shows that are really fun, people. Come out, enjoy yourselves. It's not all doom and gloom unless they're throwing it our way. Right, Jeff?
Yep.
You know, it's like this network is for the things we love, but every now and then we got to stand up for our people. We got to get behind what's right, and what they're doing to you ain't right. You know, so there you have it, people. When you see that RJ says, "Hey, this Sorrow ash can is available," everybody get one. That even proves even more that it belongs to him. Yeah, everybody get one. You know, I'm just saying.
And StarCrossComics.com, we have Starcross United #2 that features the story of the Sorrow. So that's just another way You know.
Yes,
Yeah.
get everything with the Sorrow. Come on, show people that you got it. Credit him. Don't credit them. That's the easiest way to prove it's his, is to credit him for what you own of his. Get out here, get behind each other, man. And I mean everybody. Look,
Yeah.
you guys are you got to get behind each other. You don't have to agree about every goddamn thing, but you got to agree about this. You can't let the big guys step on you and steal your shit.
Yeah.
You all got to agree about that. If you don't agree about that, then you ain't indie, bro. If you can't agree on that, you ain't even indie. You're just weird. I don't know what to tell you.
And when I do the convention circuits, I have a big, long, wide banner, and I drew all the characters that are owned by the different indie creators in Starcross. So Sorrow's on there. It's a big landscape, and what's that?
How old is that banner, Joe?
I've had it for, since we first put out that book. So I've had it for like, 6 years or something like that. I don't know.
All this stuff is evidence as to proof of ownership. Yeah. All of this is, so just gather all the evidence, every little freaking piece, and we'll build some more evidence and screw DC. What can I tell you?
Yeah. I will say, and that's and honestly, like if you want to support even the publishers and stuff that have been involved. I mean, I'm not really getting any money from this. Obviously, any indie people know that there's not much to go around to really share. It's just nice to be able to have people that pay for the publishing or whatever. But definitely support the stuff on Starcross. They do have digital stuff if that's your weird thing, and they also have Dark Elf Designs is the one who did the original black and white version. Now, I will say this too, because I don't know how many people actually know this, but this is another thing kind of in our favor. One thing is there's also a prose anthology that was written around 2003 or something like that, featuring the Sorrow. But the big thing was one of the people who was involved with doing one of the stories in the original black and white one that is still available at Indie Planet is Tom Waltz, who's been I don't know that he wants to be dragged into this, but I know he's supportive and everything. But he's been like he was like one of the main writers for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the last couple of years and was involved with The Last Ronin and a bunch of stuff. Well, he did stuff. He had this one story that he wrote because he was a captain, I think, in Iraq or something. And so anyways, he did this story called Children of the Grave. And it's kind of like a haunting, eerie story. And they're like, wow, this, tonally, this kind of, it kind of goes with like the Sorrow and stuff like that too. And so I had IDW reach out to me when they took it, because it was published by a smaller company, and then I think it was called like Shooting Star, but then IDW wanted to publish the trade of the graphic novel version, and they said, hey, it'd be really cool if we could include the Sorrow story that Tom Waltz and the artist Casey Maloney did, and Casey Maloney's done a lot of Star Trek comics for IDW. So I let them, of course, because they asked. And they asked nicely. I said, yes, you can. Yeah, that would. I think that's cool. You can put that in the back there. So it got published a third time. All before their Sorrow Lantern was even thought of, which is great because IDW is a lot bigger than any of the indie things, and had more. And you can find some of it on. There's some of it.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yep, and that's And I think and that's the Tom Waltz's story that Casey Maloney drew. And you can find copies of their Children of the Grave on Amazon and some other places too. Honestly, and I know it just kind of sounds weird, but I do feel like this is kind of like a unifying indie thing. And I do encourage you to buy some of those things and support those creators too that have been involved. And I'm not really going to get anything from that, but it's important at this time to really stand together.
Now, see, you got to remember though. RJ said he's not going to charge you nothing to build this ash can. So everybody paid $2.50 for this ash can, and Jeff will get all that. Jeff will get something for his sorrow.
Don't confuse production free with sell for free. Okay,
right. Yeah.
I have 2 LLCs, publishing and logistics, separate companies. They one doesn't like it when the other one says, "Hey, they'll do it for free."
So question.
Yeah, white hat, black hat companies. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, spy versus spy over here, man.
Yeah. Should I be ripping the covers off before I send them to you?
No, please don't. Please don't. But yeah, we definitely want to get some stuff done, and I can't emphasize enough, man. Y'all support each other. Don't let stuff like this happen to each other. Stand up, say something. You know what I mean? If your voice isn't heard, if you're standing on the sidelines, you got no say. If you're standing on the sidelines, you got no say. Whatever happens, happens. You got to be involved in the game, man. And if you're involved in the game, you don't want shit like that to happen to you. You don't want it to happen to your friends. You don't want it to happen to your damn enemies, man. You don't want to take food off people's table, man. Come on.
Yeah.
This is a hard economy to be living in, and y'all need to, work together. You really do. Really do.
And I was just gonna say I definitely because I put a lot of time into it, I would definitely encourage people to look up my post. I think I posted it on X and on Facebook. But my post that is titled that about why creators should be concerned about corporations infringing on their rights, and I list from in order like what their potential profit and things could be from things and how they can benefit, and you're basically going to lose all that if they have infringed on your rights. It's free, so because there's stuff that you don't think about, the merchandise, the shirts, all these other things where those things could be used, and when you start adding it up, that's where you need to get. That's what should make you get serious about it and be like, okay, I can't let them make like $1 million off my thing just because I don't want to fight it or whatever, because all that stuff adds up.
First they came for Punchline, and I did nothing because I published a different comic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. We definitely need to say it, and just at least make people aware. I know there's and there's going to be trolls and stuff, and I know people are like, oh, he's just trying to be greedy. Oh, it's just he ripped off Moon Knight and all this stuff. They're not even really getting into it and looking into it. It's just the headlines.
By the way, clear transparency here. I didn't see anybody post about Moon Knight. I saw the picture. I'm like, oh, it looks like Moon Knight.
Yeah. Well, I
saw a picture.
Yeah, I think and the main thing is, and that is actually, I think the main one where it's like an upshot and he's on the roof. We use it for the cover and stuff like that. I think that's the one that most people think like looks like Moon Knight because of the pose and because of the stuff, and because the cloak and everything like covers up like a lot of his body, so you can't see that he's actually has a black suit, not like a white suit.
I mean, that doesn't look. I mean, Moon Knight don't do that.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spectre does.
Yeah.
It's more like Spectre. He's a spirit. He's a spirit being, basically. You know.
Yeah.
He's not a guy in a costume.
Wrong hat, RJ.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Alpha Red, what's going on?
Hey,
coming in toward the end of the show, but I would love for you to go back and watch the replay because this was actually an informative and the kind of show that we don't do on the network very often, but when we do it, it has a serious basis for being done. And I can't emphasize enough that we all have to have each other's backs in these kind of situations, no matter your political stance or whatever. you got to have each other's backs in this kind of situation because DC don't care. They squash you, they squash you, they squash you, they squash you. They don't care. Just saying.
Yep.
Well, boys, I gotta wrap it up because I still got phone calls to make.
Oh, yeah.
Phone calls.
Yep.
Yeah,
Phone
you
calls,
guys
phone
call
calls.
each other. Get that ash can in the works, man, because
Yeah, but
you know that lets me know that what I'm doing isn't a waste of time too. You know, it's like let's get it done, let's get it out there, let's get it seen, let's get it in people's hands. You know.
What the heck? You're giving everybody wrenches.
I do. And that's why, so that everybody can promote their stuff.
You're the Oprah of indie comics.
Not the Oprah. Come on.
you get a
Wrench. You get a wrench.
Give me the Jerry Springer, not the Oprah.
Oprah's funnier though.
Yeah, Jerry Springer's dead, and I'd rather be Jerry Springer than Oprah. Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, we got, you know. Oh, what's up, Doran? Another person. You need to go back and watch this from the beginning. This is definitely for all indie creators to pay attention to because it could happen to you. Don't let it.
Yep.
Well, thanks for having me, guys, and it was all really for the sorrow. But yeah, it's my birthday today, so I'm gonna get back to
that's right. Happy
strong.
birthday.
What's that?
Now get me those credits.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm so late on getting back to you on that.
But
so
hey, you want to know the tie-in here, boss?
Yeah.
Not you, boss. Him, boss.
I'm boss.
What?
We publish their books.
I'm sorry. What?
Happy birthday, Joe. Happy birthday, bro.
Oh, thank you so much. That's awesome.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean, though. RJ, what you got going on has grown into something that can really help people. And just like this situation with Jeff, the stuff you do is, you know, you can help him out. You can help him out and protect him.
Here's the vested interest. If DC manages to get the Sorrow on their end out to where they squash J.S. Earls' Sorrow, that's a book that Starcraft can't publish. Now they're taking money off my table.
You see, this is what I'm talking about, people, is a chain reaction. If they get away with doing it to Joe or to Jeff, they're going to try to do it to other freaking people.
Yep.
Don't let them. Look, we will help you, but don't let that happen.
We need RJ to make a Sorrow song.
Even
we can do Sorrow songs. We can do Sorrow.
And you could throw
song,
when you know mention.
I can see it.
See in the song.
You can do that.
Yep, I know he can.
I can see it.
Yeah, I was thinking about putting a Sorrow T-shirt up on T Public or something. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh.
Hey, we can do Sorrow T-shirts on our T-shirt and magnet store. Same contract for the books. I mean, if we just say, hey, wow, this we don't even. I didn't even tell Dennis I did this. I just hey, look, I didn't tell Henry that I did T-shirts for the Southern.
I got another question for you, real quick, RJ. How reliable and dependable is the store you use for your merch?
You said a lot of stuff right below your microphone at the end of that sentence. I don't know what you said.
I said, how reliable and dependable is the store you use for your Critical Blast merch?
Very.
Hook me up with that, would you? Hook me up with that.
The merch, I mean, what kind of merch are you talking about?
Stickers.
Everything, coffee cups, shirts, all that shit.
Okay, yeah, it's Teespring.
Teespring is not delivering right now. They're screwing everybody. Perry ordered a coffee cup. Perry ordered a Crom coffee cup like weeks ago, bro, before Christmas. Nothing, no movement.
I have not heard that. Yeah, because our other stuff. I'm shifting most of my T-shirts and everything else to Sticker Mule. Sticker Mule now has store.
See, Kaz, I'm telling you, we might have to go that way. Do they do coffee cups and all this shit, or just?
No, not yet. Best you can do is a hot sauce. But here's the thing. Yeah, you can get blank label hot sauce and put your own label on it. and they'll label it for you.
Nice.
You design it, put it on. The thing with Sticker Mule, as opposed to all the other places, is that every T-shirt in my store is a T-shirt I had to buy first.
Oh,
Once you
Yeah.
buy one, it's eligible to go into your store. You can't just load it up and put it in there.
okay. Maybe not yet, Kaz, but we're trying to figure something out because every one that we have gotten with, we just be getting screwed over, messed up. Like I signed up with Teespring. All I did was put
Don't go
3
anywhere.
items up because I wanted to wait and see what the quality of the items were, how good they were, how quick they were with delivery, all that. So the first person that orders something, we still ain't got it yet. It's been a month, almost a month.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy, man. Fourth Wall. Yeah, that's the one we're setting up now. It's Fourth Wall.
I use Printful for my
Southern
website
Nights.
for shirts and all that.
That's awesome.
Southern Nights, Southern
We have
Nights.
T-shirts, and it grandfathers into your existing contract, 80/20. And
Nice.
Henry just saw this one. I don't think he's even got his own copy.
Whoa, Alpha Red's been waiting on Teespring for 3 freaking months. Carrie, you might want to get your money back. Just saying.
I'll gladly drop Teespring. I've got no love lost. I haven't sold a damn thing through Teespring. This is Southern Nights and X-Thieves.
Nice.
We had this went into our 1,100-page Southern Nights omnibus that we published for them. And I was like, I love that artwork so much. I'm going to put it on a white T-shirt. And
Yeah,
sell
there
it.
you go, Kaz. It's not just us. We need to bail on them fuckers, man. I'll tell Carrie to get a refund if she can. We'll just set up the Fourth Wall and see how that goes.
Did you
Gotta
hear
have a store.
DC's new character, Alpha Red Lantern?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's super angry.
Yeah.
Nah, go ahead and create it. Go ahead and create it. Just create it. Alpha Red Lantern. I want to see it.
I'm waiting for Ecru Lantern. He doesn't do anything. He just pumps gas and passes the time of day.
Nice.
Did you see Pistol Fist Lantern? I don't know if it's related. I don't know if it's related.
Has absolutely nothing to do with Pistol Fist the comic. We came up with it entirely on our own in a vacuum.
Do you think they'd let Gunmetal Lantern fly?
Gunmetal. I don't think so.
You don't think they'd let that fly? I think that would be cool. Gunmetal Gray.
New car smell lantern.
Fuchsia Lantern.
I think we've worn the show out, guys. I think we actually got to the point of wearing it out. Jeff, tell people where they can find you, bro, and we'll get out of this. We'll get out of here before it falls apart completely.
Yeah. Well, probably the easiest place to find me is on Facebook or X. I am Earls The Bird on X.
That's why I've never found you on X, because you're what?
I followed you, Earls E Bird, like early bird,
Okay.
like early bird, but with an S.
Okay,
Earls E
I'm going to
Bird.
go. Do I follow you? Because that just doesn't sound familiar.
I think so. I'm not sure, but yeah. But you can also find that. I think there is an old one that I've never been able to get back to, so that might not be the right one. But yeah, those are probably the two best places. And I do have a lot of stuff on Amazon and other places if you look for it and you're interested.
Predator paint lantern. It's deteriorating. Here we go. Joe, tell people about Starcross Comics and how they can find you.
So you can find me on social media, Joe Spicer, starcrosscomics.com. We have over 30 ongoing titles, and we have 15 independent creators that all own their own properties and characters until DC makes them into a lantern. That is
Picks them off one by one.
There you go.
So
You snatch up them titles just as quick as I snatch up these shows, brother. That's how we do it, right? That's how we do it.
if you want to look at the new future lanterns, check out our books, because you're seeing them soon, I'm sure.
You want to see the real? You want to see the real Sorrow? Go to Starcross Comics. RJ, tell people a little bit about Critical Blast real quick.
Oh, Critical. I have to say it legally now. Critical Blast is the website, criticalblast.com. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. But if you're wanting to have your crowdfunder shipped, you want to contact Critical Blast Logistics LLC, which has its own Facebook page. And if you want to publish your book through us, you want to talk to Critical Blast Publishing LLC, which has its own Facebook page. And sometimes they're customers of each other. This is getting to be fun. I never thought accounting would be so exciting, but but it is. So yeah, we're publishing, we're shipping. We just love comics, and we're trying to help people realize their dream of getting their comic published and out into the world. This is our ore.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Some people are picking up an ore. I went out and bought an Evinrude.
That was one of my favorite cartoon characters.
Evinrude?
Yeah.
I don't know that cartoon.
He was a dragonfly in what was it, the Rescuers or something like that? So, not the Rescue. What was it? It was like two mice, and then they had like a dragonfly friend. Yeah. That was a while ago.
That was probably
Ralph Black.
Not the Rescuers, but the Rescue.
It wasn't Rescue Rangers.
Oh, was it Rescue Rangers?
No, wrong. People, you win a lot of money if you can find out which one I'm talking about.
I know
it was Rescue Rangers.
It's not Rescue Rangers.
Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. Sure.
No.
They had the dragonfly friend.
All right, who's dropping the link to prove they're right? Let me see it. Come on.
On it.
Uh-oh.
Is it this one?
What? Yeah. Yes, that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, it is the Rescuers. What do you know?
Yeah.
It's a Disney. Ah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Speaking
I'm
of Disney, I was gonna say I got one more rant. Speaking of Disney, before Christmas, my son realized that Disney has overcharged him almost $1,000 over the last 5 years, and he got on the phone with them, and they told him they would refund his $981, and today they refunded $81. And they said, we don't know what you're talking about. Nobody told you that, blah, 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 blah. So when you're dealing with these people, always get a name, get a last name, get an employee number, get all that shit. Protect yourself, because every big corporation is going to screw you. They don't care about you.
Yeah.
Period. Fuck Disney, too. Oh, I had to say it. That's $1,000 they ripped my son off. Screw them people. And he canceled his Disney today. He done with Disney. So, they would have made a whole lot more over the years with his 4 kids, and they screwed up. Okay, they should have just given him his money back. Bob Newhart and Zsa Zsa Gabor, what?
The Rescuers.
Most people nowadays don't.
Right, that's right. I forgot that.
I always wanted to write a thing for Disney back when they were somebody I wanted to write for. That would a movie that would bring together the Rescue Rangers and the Rescuers, the Rescue Aid Society.
Nice.
Isn't that Paw Patrol? No, I'm kidding.
No. It was gonna pull Chip out of retirement. Dale was the only one manning the old clubhouse in his his floral shirt, and it was.
So they did.
I had the whole plot done.
You saw it, right? You saw it, right? They did that movie. No. So there's this Chip and Dale movie with the animated characters, and it's very like meta, where they're like, they know they were characters. Like, it's pretty high budget. And like they even go to a comic convention where there's like old cartoon characters, and there's original Sonic before the director made him accurate. So there's the freaky furry looking one, and he's an out of work actor. Like, it's very interesting. They're actors who play. It's animated, but the cartoon characters played themselves in the old series.
I'll have to look at that.
it was so, meta, that it blew my mind. It was really hard to even follow because I'm like, wait, they're actor. Like, it was weird. So all these cartoons play characters on shows,
Well, it's
but
like
they
Roger
actually
Rabbit.
have real. Yeah, it's totally like that. So
Yeah.
it's kind of mind blowing. But yeah, so they kind of did what you just said.
There you have it, people. Madness Special Edition, A Tale of Two Sorrows, and Neil and Diamond. Neil Diamond, that's funny. It was the Neil Diamond.
The Neil Diamond
Sweet
special.
Caroline. Nobody did it.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate you. Please share this show out. If nothing else, just to warn the other indie comic creators the kind of shit that can happen to them. Right? You don't gotta love us, but we got you in our heart. Right? I'm Pops Van Zant. If you're watching this, you know who I am. I don't gotta say nothing else. What's that? What is that?
Sorrow.
Sorrow.
Here you go. See, he don't look like Moon Knight. He's black. He's black and blue. What's wrong with you people? Y'all
Weep not, want not.
have a great night. We will be back. We will be back tomorrow or tonight, 11 o'clock. Silverline,
Bad
right
guys.
here with Tim TK. Y'all have
Bad
a
guys
great
will
night.
sow what they weep.
Peace, everybody. We're going to play some ads. I'm going to play some ads. I didn't play none at the beginning. So,
Play some
all of our
ads.
sponsors,
Next phone
we
call.
love you.
RJ's
You know
in
who
love.
you
I
are.
got a girlfriend. I'm going. Bye.
Bye.
I'm doing this. Got you, fooled you. Thought I was going to keep doing it? What are you, crazy?
In the heart of a major city, in a place raised to honor Earth's past protectors, the world will again learn, sometimes, superpowered intrigue doesn't stop at the grave. Galaxy Memorial Park, Volume 1, beginning crowdfunding Memorial Day 2025.
It's Flip City Magazine, The Parodies, Special Edition, with savage send-ups of The Walking Dead, Star Trek Picard, Stranger Things, The Mandalorian, Guardians of the Galaxy, and more from the first 4 years of Flip City. Get Flip City The Parodies free when you subscribe in print at flipcitymag.com. The world's best satire magazine, and never, ever woke.
when a series of shipping disasters points to a mysterious sea monster, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson leave the comfort of Baker Street and board a freighter where they encounter unexpected betrayal and come face to face with the enigmatic Captain Nemo and his submarine, the Nautilus. As they delve deeper into the case, they uncover a conspiracy involving a Russian Tsar with an airship that rains destruction on unsuspecting cities. With time running out and the world on the brink of war, the heroes must use all their skills and resources to stop a massive conspiracy and prevent global conflict. From Eisner-winning writer Mike Barron and illustrator Richard Bong, dive into the depths of adventure and unravel the mysteries of the sea with the world's greatest detective in Leviathan. Order now at baroncomics.com.
Tube and feel the vibe. Every show you crave right here live. Heroes and villains clash in the night. Madness Comic Network sets it right. Scroll through the list, find what you need. Epic battles and fast-paced speed. From capes to cosmic space delights. Tune in and watch your favorites ignite. On Facebook, share the thrill so grand. On X, the buzz across the land. Madness Comic Network all around. In every episode, joy is found. Uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic brightens days. Hey! New uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove.